Hello everyone, I hope and I believe you all are doing great. This is Dr. Arya, your pathology faculty. Today we will be studying a very important topic, that is the topic of nephrotic syndrome, and from this topic you will be getting a long answer question. Okay, from this you will be getting a long answer question, so try to read this topic from that perspective. So nephrotic syndrome is basically a syndrome, a clinical syndrome basically characterized by increase in the permeability. Increase in the permeability of what? Increase in the permeability of glomerular basement membrane. Increase in the permeability of glomerular basement membrane. You have certain syndromes like there will be massive proteinuria, that is the level will be more than or equal to 3.5 grams per day in adults, and then you will be having the hypoalbuminuria, that is less than 3, and then you will be having the generalized edema and hyperlipidemia. So these are basically the things that you will be able to appreciate in nephrotic syndrome. Let's see the pathogenesis. In the pathogenesis, you have the primary mechanism in which there is increased in the permeability due to the podocytes that are there are basically getting injured, as a result of which there is loss of plasma protein. There is loss of plasma protein. Next, what happens is you have hypoalbuminuria. In that, there will be decrease in the oncotic pressure. As a result of which, when there is decrease in the oncotic pressure, you will be developing something called as edema. Second, you have the liver is compensated by increased in the synthesis of lipoproteins. That is, you will be having the hyperlipidemia. There will be loss of regulatory proteins, right? What are the causes of nephrotic syndrome? The first cause you have are the primary causes, and then you have the secondary causes. Main focus of yours should be on the primary ones. In the primary ones, the first thing that you have is the minimal change disease, MCD, and remember C for C. It is most common in children. It is most common in children. Okay. Then you have the focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. They are common in adults and it has a poor prognosis. They are common in G for grandfathers, and grandfather is your adult. So they are common in adults. Then you have the membranous nephropathy. They are also common in adults and is associated with autoantibodies. So what are the secondary causes? You have the diabetes mellitus, and I hope and I know that you all know the criteria of diabetes mellitus. Then you have the SLE amyloids. Infections will be there like hepatitis B, C, HIV, malaria and syphilis. In the drugs, you will be having the NSAIDs, the penicillamine and gold and captopril. In the malignancy, there will be Hodgkin's lymphoma, solid, and some of the tumors will be there. These are the basically the primary and secondary. In the primary, you have the MCD, FSGS, MN, that is membranous nephropathy, and the membranoproliferative glomerulonephropathy. In the morphology, let's see the morphology. On the basis of morphology, first is we have the minimal change disease. In the light microscopy, there will be normal glomeruli. Okay, in the immunofluorescence will be negative. In the electron microscopy, this is the electron microscopy. What you are able to appreciate? There will be effacement. See, this is the podocyte process. There is effacement of the podocyte process. There is effacement of the podocyte process. Pathogenesis, it is T-cell mediated injury, cause cytokines and cause the podocyte damage. Next that you have is the focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. Here in the light microscopy, you will be able to see there will be segmental sclerosis in some of the glomeruli. In the immunofluorescence, you will be able to appreciate the IgM and the C3 deposit. In the electron microscopy, this is the electron microscopy. In the electron microscopy, you will be able to see these are the podocytes. So you are able to appreciate the podocyte effacement. You will be able to appreciate the podocyte effacement. They are steroid resistant and progress to the CKD, that is your chronic kidney disease. Next thing that you have is the membranous nephropathy. In membranous nephropathy, in the light microscopy, you will be able to see the diffused glomerular thickening. The glomerular layer will be thickened. In the immunofluorescence, there will be granular IgG and C3 deposits along with the GBM. You will be able to appreciate a very, very beautiful and very characteristic pie and dome appearance. You will be able to appreciate what? Spike and dome appearance. In the electron microscopy, you will be able to appreciate the subepithelial deposits. You will be able to appreciate the subepithelial deposits. Then next thing that you have is the MPGN. In MPGN, in the light microscopy, you will be able to appreciate a very characteristic tram track appearance. It is very, very important. Just make sure you remember that in MPGN you have the tram track appearance. In the immunofluorescence, you will be able to see the immune complex deposits like C3 and IgG. In the electron microscope, see, I'm showing you in the electron microscope what you are able to see. You are able to see that the subendothelial mesangial interdepositions. These are nothing but the intermesangial depositions, right? What are the clinical features? Edema will be there. Generalized edema will be there. Generalized edema is also called as the anasarca. Then you have the periorbital edema, pedal edema, ascites and pleural effusion will be there. Then you will be having proteinuria, that is more than or equal to 3.5 grams per day, mainly the albumin. Then you have the hypoalbuminuria, hyperlipidemia, the lipids level will be increased. You will be having the lipiduria like the oval fat bodies and the fatty cast. What are the investigations we will order? Investigations that we will order, first one is the urine, that is 24-hour protein should be, and the value is 3.5 grams. Then you will order the spot urine protein is to creatinine ratio, it should be more than 3.5. There will be oval fat bodies and fatty cast will be there, that is you will be able to see something called as a Maltese cross. This is your nothing but the Maltese cross. This is nothing but your Maltese cross. In the blood, you will be able to see there is decreased serum albumin and total proteins, increased cholesterol and triglycerides. In the renal biopsy, you will be able to appreciate it is very essential for diagnosis and the type of nephrotic syndrome that is there. It helps us in diagnosing that as well. So you have special tests like ANA, anti-dsDNA for SLE, HbA1c for your diabetes, SPEP for your amyloidosis and multiple myeloma. What are the complications that can occur? There can be infection, right? There can be loss of IgG complement factors that will lead to pneumococcal and staphylococcal infection. There can be thrombosis that will lead to the loss of antithrombin 3 and proteins that will cause the renal vein thrombosis. There can be malnutrition, right? Because malnutrition is very, very common in the people who are living in the rural areas. There can be hypocalcemia, that is the decreased level of, there can be the decreased level of calcium. There is loss of vitamin D during the protein binding. What are the treatment? First thing we have to do is the salt restriction. We have to ask the patient that, sir, please take a low sodium diet. There should be fluid restriction if edema is there. Okay, if edema is there, then there is no fluid. There should be fluid restriction. High protein diet should be followed and control the BP of the patient. And tell me, what is the medications you will use? What are the medications we will use to control the BP, that you have to tell me. Drugs for edema, you have the loop diuretics like the furosemide and plus or minus your thiazides. Then you have the proteinuria. For the protein reduction, you have the ACE inhibitors. For hyperlipidemia, you have the statins. For anticoagulation, if thrombosis is there or not, you have to give the anticoagulation vaccines, 2 for pneumococcal and influenza. So this was all about the nephrotic syndromes that we have. If that will be asked as a long question, then you have to write this much. If you are having any sort of doubt, please feel free to reach me. Please feel free to DM me. Thank you so much.